Yo, yo, yo. Alright, 1 second, let me turn some crap down. Send out some tweets. And then, yeah, we will get cranking. Okay, welcome, Ghost Runner, Jason. Hope you're doing well, man. Alright, let me see here. Grab the link. The song is hitting mad hard today. I'm gonna be around but working on some school stuff too. Hey, no worries, man. Appreciate being here, Bean. Welcome. Just working in quotation marks. I'm good, man. Was out a little too late last night. Throwing back some drinks. But overall doing pretty well. Alright, for real, gotta turn this down a little bit more. Alright. Let me send out the stream link a couple places. Monday mornings, man. Miss those days. I mean, I thought I missed them, and then I went out and I should have put them behind me, I think. Let's see here. What am I even looking for? Oh yeah, some line rooms. Send that out. Send that out here. Send that here. Alright, head over to Discord real quick. Sweet, got Nerd online. Okay. Let's go here. Here, and then we're good. All right, sweet. All right, yeah, so today we're gonna dive back into the Battlegrounds deck tool that we've been working on, and today we're going to be focusing primarily on defense and kind of understanding what defenders are giving you problems, what counters you have for them, what counters you don't have, what bans you should maybe consider, stuff like that. So, really excited. We're going to have Nerd on stream. If you guys aren't familiar with Nerd, let me real quick go get his YouTube link again and pin it. It's in the description as well. But Nerd used to be with SSX, recently joined us at noon. Really smart player, really understands the game. Has a lot of cool videos on Battlegrounds, deck building, and more. So I'd highly recommend checking out his channel, which I will pin here, and we'll get him on call in a second. A few minutes, and yeah. Let me get that in here. Nerd's channel. that. Send. And gonna pin that. Sweet. Okay. It's pinned and good to go. Out of control. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. Got that up. Where'd my OBS go? There it is. Okay. And this. Yeah. Hope everyone's having a good Monday. Hope you have your coffee. Hope you are thriving at work, or no matter what you're doing, I guess. Hope you're having a good day. Let's get this camera brightened up a bit. Let's go 4. Nah, it's too bright. Let's go 5. Crank that a little bit, maybe. Alright. Go with that for now. But okay, let me pull up and kind of go over kind of what we've been doing on the other tab. Get that set up. Let's get reflector out of here. Make this full screen. Alright. Sweet. Get that bolded. Centered out. Hello. Sweet. And okay, I'm going to go ahead and see if Nerd wants to hop in the chat. Let's make sure Nerd can access. Okay. Sweet. Just ping him real quick. Stream channel.
Yo.
Yellow. How's it going, brother?
Oh shit, I can't hear anything. 1 second.
Yeah, let me get you turned. Volume turned down a little bit as well. And then chat, if you guys can just let me know. FinTech saying I'll have you guys on my TV. Can't really talk in chat, but I'll be watching. Beautiful.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's cutting in and out a little bit. 1 second, let me pause the music here so I can hear better. Yeah, go ahead and talk.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's beautiful now. Perfect. Amazing. Oh yeah, yeah. That feels bad. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good.
Good, good. Welcome, Zach. Welcome, Prof X. Good to see you guys. Nerd is such a hater. I mean, Claire isn't that bad. She's kind of bad though. All right, man. Well, so I already introduced you a little bit on stream, but for those people on stream that don't know you, maybe just introduce yourself real quick.
I'm a planner and new now. So, yeah.
Yep. Super smart player. Really glad you were able to tune in. Basically today, I just wanted to chat with you a little bit. I've been working on a Battlegrounds tool because when it comes to how I approach this game, I tend to look at it pretty analytically. You can't hear him; he's way too quiet on stream. Okay, let me turn him up real quick. Hold up. Discord. Let's go. Can you talk again, real quick, now? Like maybe a full sentence. Maybe cutting out again. Okay, I'll try that. But did you get access to the Google Doc I sent you?
Did you say something? My headphones cut out or anything?
Yeah, so I was just trying to see if you had access to the doc that I sent you on Google.
Let me check real quick.
Yeah, I shot it to you in a line chat. Captain BT, welcome. Yeah, I'll try to get his volume up. Martin T, same thing. Let me know if that's a little bit better, guys. I turned him up a little bit.
Right, yeah, I have access to the doc.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah, feel free to take a look at it.
Send that to my computer real quick so I can put up there.
But yeah, today, basically, like I was saying, I like to look at the game in a pretty analytical way and try to like understand what I'm doing in any game mode and try to get better over time. And so I like to keep a lot of data and track a lot of things, and so that's kind of the purpose of why I built this, in order to just be able to analyze my performance in Battlegrounds, build different decks, try things out, and be able to track everything. Can hear him now, but still quiet. Okay, I'll turn him up a little bit more. But yeah, I was watching a couple of your videos on defenders, and I thought you could probably provide some pretty good insight on that. I really kind of liked how you broke it down. So, turn you up a little bit more. Try that. Hopefully that doesn't blow anyone's eardrums out. But yeah, so I'm kind of, if you're on the sheet, I'm kind of on the defensive analysis tab, and it's pretty much just a blank sheet with defenders, and kind of the way I was thinking about it is kind of tracking the counters that I actually own in my deck and the counters that I don't have yet ranked up. But I guess to start, like, what's your general approach as you think about defenders that you're having issues with when it comes to Battlegrounds?
Well, I mean, the first thing to note really is just, if there's a defender that you really are having issues with, I just go ahead and ban them. But that is part of a factor of, I have a very strong attacking deck. I have like almost all the attacking options, so most people I'm going to be able to out nuke, so I don't really need to ban too many nukes. I mean, there's this stuff like Omega that's a little annoying, but no. Generally, if there's a defender I'm really struggling with, I'm just going to go ahead and ban it to just reduce that RNG in the round, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So, but obviously, there's only 3 bans, and especially now with, I feel like Kabam's been adding some more interesting defenders to the mix, and yeah, a lot of the decks that I go up against, kind of as you kind of hit towards the top of Battlegrounds, you can't necessarily ban all the tough defenders, right? So how do you decide kind of how to narrow that down in a specific deck?
On my sheet, I went and put all of the meta defenders that, or whatever current meta, and I sort of list my hard counters that I have, and then I list the soft counters I have, and, you know, the ones that I have a bunch of hard counters to, those I pretty much just ignore, like, what's his face? Doom. Like, Doom I have a bajillion hard counters to, I'm not going to worry about banning him. Then there's someone like Korg, who I say, you know, got like Storm, who's a really good hard counter, and then past that I just have a few soft counters that, like, maybe I can squeak out a win on that round, but generally Korg's going to be a pretty big nuisance.
Yeah.
Then he would be someone that I would absolutely ban.
Yeah, makes sense. So, yeah, just as an example here, you mentioned Doom. So, yeah, I don't think I've banned Doom in several several seasons. I wasn't even banning him in kind of the power snack meta, which is where I think he was kind of the most powerful, either there or there or Safeguard are kind of the two difficult ones for Doom. But there's just so many science champs that I feel like handle him pretty well. I mean, I've got I-Bomb, I've got Mr. Negative, I've got Torch if he's not banned. So I agree with you there. I guess when I think about this, like, I feel like obviously it's going to vary from meta to meta, and you're going to have different champs that present more problems, right? Like, Man-Thing, I mean, there's some pretty hard counters to him, like Mr. Negative or Overseer or some of those nullify immune champs, but there's some champs that with Power Snack and with MD can become a real problem if you don't have one of those hard counters. And I'm sure there'll be more nodes like that that's just a specific defender that wasn't maybe... That's because Doom is bad. Okay, Fintech saying, if I ever ban a defender, it's because someone I can't match. I would ban a 6-star Nick Fury since I don't have one. Yeah, I mean, would you say...
Oh, yeah, that's...
Would you say... I mean, you have a rank 4 Fury, right?
Yeah, I have a rank 4 Nick Fury.
Yeah, so I would probably ban him just because I just recently got a rank 3 Fury, but he's one of those defenders that if you don't have and the defender has... It's not that it's an auto round win, but it kind of feels like it sometimes. Do you kind of tend to take that approach too? If they have a defender that you just don't want to deal with and you don't have, you might ban that champ?
Yeah, like Korg and Hulkling I don't have, so I'm just banning them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of defenders in my own deck that I don't have that many amazing counters to, but since I already have them, I'm not really going to worry about it. I mean, like Nick Fury himself. I mean, I have the 6-star R4. Of course, Nick Fury is still going to give problems to me on attack because I think Nick Fury gives everyone problems.
Yeah.
But since, well, one, people always ban my Nick Fury, because, of course, and then I already have the 6-star R4 Nick Fury, so I don't need to worry about someone else's Nick Fury.
Yeah, exactly. Being saying that's because Doom is bad. Yeah, Doom is, I mean...
Nah. Doom is good.
Doom's a pretty good champion. I would much rather fight against a Claire than a Doom. I'll just leave it at that. But okay, so as I look at the sheet, like, how do you kind of, because if I think through this, and I'll just maybe do like the top 5 here if you have it in front of you. I think stream can see it too. Yeah. So again, Doom, I'm not super worried about. I feel like I have a lot of counters that can take him. I'm gonna just add some more in here. Man-Thing, again, Mr. Negative, I-Bomb, Overseer, King Groot, I have Tiger. I mean, Doom can probably take it. I noticed that you kind of separated hard and soft counters. When I was thinking about this, I kind of just went counters in general, just because... I mean, obviously, if you have a hard counter, you're probably going to pick the hard counter if you can. But yeah, if you can't, you go soft counter. I guess, why would you still break it up, like looking at this, into hard counters and soft counters? Or would you just, do you think like you could make it work the way I have it here with just like counters that you own and counters that you don't own?
I mean, yeah, I probably would. Because, I mean, there's a big difference between when you have a counter that makes... you know, a defender basically not worthwhile. Like, it's just going to be a super quick fight. And then you have a defender that's going to make a defensive placement, still slow you down quite a bit, but you're going to be able to, you know,
win the
at
fight.
least do something and give you a chance, you know?
Yeah, I mean, especially... I guess I would concur with you, because especially in the, like, recent metas that we've had that have very low health pools, it felt like... literally the only thing that mattered was whether you could kill something in like 25 seconds or not. Yeah. And it kind of didn't matter. Like there was a lot of matchups where if you had the soft counter instead of the hard counter, you'd just lose on time. So yeah, I think that's fair. In which case,
I do actually think that's going to start becoming the case with the bigger health pool metas as well, because I think one of the big factors that happened with the low health pool metas, since there was such a big chunk of time and so many rank ups with like July 4th between the last meta and that, like everybody ranked up all the best nukes they'd figured out, and I feel like that's gonna still happen with the big health pools now that just everybody has a nuke deck and all.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Finn's saying, my mindset is that we have the same exact matchups. I'm confident I can win, so I'd base both the attacker and defender bans around that for the most part. Opponent's deck build and the meta are also factors. Yeah, 100%. I think for me, something that I think about a lot is that I would generally say that I have a, like, I would call it like a medium-sized deck versus like a like OP Battlegrounds deck. Like I don't have like 10 rank 4s, and I don't have every single like rank 3. I don't have like 80 rank 3s. I have a good amount, and I'm definitely not, I don't think it would be fair to say that I have a small roster, but I also don't have like a massive roster. And so for me, I feel like, especially as you get towards the top of the rankings, I end up in a lot of matchups where I just don't have all the options that the opponent has. What was your experience like with that, nerd?
That definitely happened with my defensive deck recently, because I mean, my defensive deck, especially last meta when I didn't have a lot of the ones that I've recently ranked up, was pretty garbage.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my attacking deck has been pretty strong, so I haven't felt that too much on attack, but I've definitely felt that on defense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I've tried to rank a lot more defenders recently, like you said, but yeah, I generally tended to rank people to get content done, which tend to be more offensive champions for the most part.
Yeah.
And then obviously war defense and stuff like that. So that's something that I've definitely noticed that I need to start building. But it's kind of interesting because, like Finn said, like a lot of times, like if you had the same matchups across the board, like he said, I feel like I'm pretty confident that I can compete with anyone. But trying to get yourself in a position to do that isn't necessarily easy. Finn's also saying, I've kept some rough notes of my opponents from past betas, so I have a good idea of who's running recoil and what champs they tend to use. Yeah, makes sense. Eric Sai, what up, man? Good to see you. Saying, I need to make an Excel of my deck sometime this week and all the fringe and bench champs at rank 3. Yeah, so if you want, I'll add it to the comments, but this tool, you can just add your champs, and then they can fill in automatically, and you can build different decks. So if you want access to this, I'll put it in the description shortly, so that you don't have to take the time to build it yourself. Cream cheese, welcome as well. So if I'm going through here, let's go Korg. I'm going to call Kitty a soft counter. I don't have Storm, but she's a pretty hard counter to Korg. I've had good experiences with Bishop against him. So I would kind of go through here, I think, and let's see. Nimrod, Cap Sam, Warlock. War Machine. So then I guess if I got done with this list, let's say I've played like 30 rounds of BGs, and I keep track of my record, I keep track of the defenders that cause me issues. How would you say to go about prioritizing rank ups in order to actually get wins? So like, let's say I have it could be obvious, right? Like let's say Storm I don't have in my deck, you have a Storm, I don't have one ranked up. But let's say I noticed that like Storm counters a lot of the defenders that are causing me issues. It would be pretty obvious that maybe I should get her ranked up as an offensive like nuke option for my deck. But
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
I think the way I like to go about it is, instead of ranking, the specific counters that, specifically counter these, you can look at a lot of the general nukes that are going to work for, like, basically everything, unless they're specifically countered. You can go look at the general nukes, and you'll find a lot of these general nukes are able to work for these really hard defenders, of course.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't fill your entire deck with general nukes. But if you're noticing issues with a specific defender, if there is a general nuke you can rank that can solve that defender, that's going to increase your attack strength a lot more than ranking, say, a storm. Even though, champs like that can still be worth putting in your deck for sure. Like, I recently put storm in my deck as well. Yeah, I would put the first priority towards those general nukes that also counter to the defenders for ranking for attack, because they're just going to be able to cover so much ground.
Yeah, 100%. Like, for example, CGR last meta just felt like it really didn't matter what the matchup was unless it's like one of CGR's like defensive hard counters. Like champs like CGR, like if you had them, you were probably going to win on time unless you messed up. And that was way more valuable than having like a counter to one specific defender, like you said.
Yep.
So when it comes to your ban strategy, do you tend to ban those all-purpose nukes? Do you or I guess nukes that you don't have, defenders that maybe you don't have, kind of like Finn said, or what's your general approach to banning? Like, I know it's probably different in every matchup, but
I mean, for banning for me, the one thing is if it looks like a suicide stack, I just try and ban either like Ghost or Omega or Shang.
Yeah.
Because those with Suis are just ridiculous, and I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
But in general, since most people don't run Suis for BGs, at least yet, I'd go for banning the defenders, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Especially the strong defenders I don't have, because, I mean, my deck is very leaning towards an attacking deck, so a lot of the strongest defenders I don't have, so it just makes it feel a little bit less bad if you can just remove 3 of your opponent's stronger defenders that you don't have,
Yeah, for sure, because that's one of the reasons, like, I wanted to get you on this call is because I feel like, again, like, you have a strong deck, don't get me wrong, but I feel like when you look at a lot of the really, really tough decks, defensive decks at the top, like, I think, like, my matchups versus KT and, like, all the defenders that he would have ranked up, and some of these other guys that just have massive rosters, I think your approach does have to change compared to OS. Finn saying OS is a dominant hard counter. You're not wrong. But yeah, I guess with that smaller deck in mind, like, what would you say? Because I've heard a lot of opinions from people on Battlegrounds, and this is kind of what I want to try to prove to people over the course of using this and over the course of, like, my Battlegrounds runs and maybe getting some data from other people. But a lot of people are just like, all that matters in Battlegrounds is the champions that you have ranked up and your deck size and, like, the luck of the draft. What's your opinion on that? I'll give mine in a second, but what's your opinion on to people that say that?
There's, of course, a strong impact that roster and deck size is going to have on everything. As for the drafting RNG, I do think drafting RNG is more strategy than it is luck. I mean, there is definitely a luck component, of course, but if you're at a level where you have, a decent enough deck, most of the time your deck drafting is going to be strategy based. Like, I look at rounds that I lost because of the draft, and I'm like, yeah, I probably could have drafted that better.
Yeah.
But, I mean, having a small roster that just isn't good for BGs, of course, is going to be rough if you don't have those super strong attackers. You don't need the best possible deck, but you do need at least a competitive deck.
Yeah, I agree. The thing that, to kind of echo that opinion, also welcome Vega, good to see you, man, hope you're doing spectacularly this Monday. The thing that I would echo there is, like, don't get me wrong, big decks are much more intimidating than, like, someone with a smaller deck, but I've been beaten by people with a smaller deck than me, I've beaten people with a bigger deck than me, and I feel like that can kind of be, like, one of those excuses that we limit ourselves with, is to say, well, I lost because I didn't have a chance against their deck, when in reality, like, if you set yourself up to deal with the deck, I think you're going to actually put yourself in a position where you can beat people with much better decks than you if you've thought it through strategically and you kind of draft strategically and don't kind of, like, give in to that mindset that, like, well, I just can't beat this person because they have all these options that I don't have.
Yeah, for sure. There's also a definite component of just pure skill, because the skill it takes to nuke fights is really difficult to like maximize every single second you can in a fight. That's why, I mean, there's a big difference between when, someone is like, that's really, really, really good at Omega is going to be taking those fights really quickly, and then you just throw Omega into some average Joe stack. You're probably not going to win rounds against that really good Omega player, you know?
Yeah, especially, like, for example, I think I had a match against Happy McMuffins in one of the metas that he had suicides on, and like some defenders that normally were very strong for me just got plowed over by Omega with suicides on.
And I mean, Omega is one of the extreme examples, because I mean, Omega has one of the highest skill caps in the game. It goes for, I mean, pretty much every champ in Battlegrounds there is a skill cap too, except for, I mean, like, of course, someone like CGR, there's really no strategy to it, but
Yeah.
almost all of the best nukes in BGs do require quite a bit of different strategy. Even someone like Sunspot or Hitmonkey, that seems extremely simple. There is a good bit of way to maximize your fight time with those guys, past what I've seen most people using with them, you know?
Yeah, 100%. So, out of curiosity, like, I wanted to real quick make a list of kind of those characters, because I was thinking about it the other day. I just didn't have time to do it myself, so I figured we'd kind of talk about it here. Just talk about kind of those champions that you would classify as like just all-purpose nukes, and we've talked about some of them already. We got CGR, we got Ghost, we got Human Torch, in my opinion. Who else would you kind of add to that list?
There's a lot. I mean, if we look at I'll just go class by class. If we look at skill class, you've got Nick Fury, you've got Hitmonkey, you've got Stealthy, you've got Shang-Chi, you've got Black Widow Deadly Origin, you've got Bullman, you've got a ridiculous amount of all-purpose nukes in the skill class that are going to be getting those consistent 30-second fights.
Yeah.
And then if you look at Cosmic, I mean, you've got CGR, you've got Surfer, you've got Herc, you've got Hulkling, you've got, I assume Gallon is going to be up there as well.
Yeah.
Then you've even got someone like Gamora, I mean, Gamora and Hype, who are a little bit RNG based on Gamora and Hype, but they can
but Hype can be extremely fast if you get like one good heavy RNG.
Then I've seen like a 15-second fight from Gamora against a Penny when you got the good Fury RNG and everything, and L1 just instantly killed. It was a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then Mystic and Tech are a little bit weird in terms of general nuking. But for Tech, if you have a Sui's deck, you've got Ghost and Warlock, who are going to be ridiculous with Sui's on, of course. And then you've got Omega Sentinel, who's just a monster. And then Starkey is a little bit of a weird one. If you are in the higher health pool metas, he's going to be working really, really well as an all-purpose nuke. But of course, as we saw in the lower health pool metas, since, I mean, the fight time you're doing with Starkey is basically the same as the fight time in the bigger HP metas doing due to the ramp up. He's been a lot weaker in these lower rates.
Yeah, I still definitely got some use out of him, for sure. Just because he does hit so hard relatively fast.
And then there's also Doc Ock, who's a little bit of an interesting one. But you're able to get pretty quick 30-second fights with him if you can get the heavy spam in the corner going. Of course, there's a little bit of RNG with stand your ground, but most of the fight isn't within stand your ground, of course.
Yeah.
He's one I would class as a general nuke as well.
Yeah, and you left Nimrod off the list, who I would say is ridiculously fast. At least at Sig 200.
Yeah, Nimrod I look at as more of a specific counter in this, because, I mean, he is ridiculously fast when you're fighting, like, a Toad or a Sauron or something, but he's not the same all-purpose nuke that you're going to throw into, like, half the maps you find.
Yeah. Who's Rage, welcome, by the way, saying he has major deck envy. Well, nice.
I mean, I even look at a matchup like I-Bomb, which is something Nimrod should be good for.
Yeah.
And, I've been using I-Bombs to bait out Nimrods a lot, and he's just going really not that quick against something like an I-Bomb.
Yeah. That's interesting, because in my experience, and again, I think this depends on your experience with Nimrod as well. Nimrod has been basically like my mainstay champ in War and like all content since I ranked him up. And so, I mean, personally, I've won some matchups that I think people just had no expectation of me pulling it out with, like you said, eye bombs and even man things and some very interesting champs that aren't just your classic Toads and Saurons, you know, and I mean any mutant champ obviously, he kind of invalidates, but I definitely, in my opinion at least, I think I'm gonna add him to the tech class nuke list just because he has very serious unavoidable damage that pretty much ends the fight as long as you know how to get there quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so. We've gone through Mystic class. What are your thoughts? I mean, to me, Tiger is the big standout in the Mystic
I mean,
class.
Tiger's just ridiculous. You've got Diablo, who with Sui's and the higher health pool metas was a little bit ridiculous because you could throw like 2 L1s and the fight would be over with him. And then you've got Hood, who he is a little bit matchup dependent again. I mean, he can take basically anything in BGs, but in terms of taking it quickly, he is a little bit matchup dependent for something like buffs. But I mean, when there's almost any buffs on a matchup, he's going to destroy. You just need that little bit of MD power to get you going, even something like a Nimrod. And then there is Dragon Man, who's kind of he's also a little bit reliant on buffs, but he's the one that I found has that little bit of flexibility if there isn't buffs. I mean, he's not going to be getting the 30-second fights if it's not a buff matchup, but he's still been really quick against something like a Paco because Dragon Man has the ability with the corner to just never bait a special attack against the opponent.
Yeah, because he can reduce their combat power rate so much.
Yeah, so if you're up against something like an APOC where the real threat of the fight is just it going slow because of that long special animation, Dragon Man's going to do pretty well there. Then there's Longshot, of course.
Yeah,
but Longshot is a little bit of a weird one. I've actually seen a lot of fights go like over a minute with Longshot, just because if you don't get the perfect lineup, you don't get that good AI after you L2. There's definitely a bit of AI reliance there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Finn adding Black Cat and OG Black Panther to the skill list. Eric's Sai saying Rintra should be added as a mystic. What are your thoughts on Rintra? I personally don't have him as an attacker. I've seen some videos, but I wouldn't have. I guess he wouldn't have come to mind as like a super fast option. Definitely controls the fights that you would want him for, I think. But what are your thoughts on him as a general nuke?
He gets pretty quick in the right matchups. Again, he has the same thing as the other Mystics, where there is a little bit of reliance in the buffs just to get the power gain going.
Yeah.
With that, he can be pretty quick, and he is more on the side of someone like Dragon Man, who can still be decent without the buffs, but I don't know if I'd class him as a nuke, just because almost every time you're picking Rintra, you're going to use him as a defender, because he's just so strong on defense, of course.
Another one that I just thought of, because, again, I tend to forget about new champs, but what are your thoughts on Wiccan as a general nuke with all of his damage over time capabilities?
I do not think he's good outside of buff matchups at all, but in buff matchups, he's ridiculous. I saw someone take 43-second versus a Hulkling boss in Alliance Sword, which is...
Yeah, I think that was Bryce's video, right?
Yeah, Bryce back in SSX with me, and back in Gomp with me.
Yeah, just crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, I think there's a pretty strong starting... Oh, one that I think... We haven't touched on the mutant class yet, I don't think.
Oh yeah, Sunspot is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, Sunspot and AA were the first ones that came to mind.
And then you've got Kitty with the Sui's deck. Kitty's gonna be ridiculous with the Sui's deck.
Yeah, there's some champs... There's some champs that, like, I would classify as... Maybe I should make another column here, like, Suicide's nukes. Like, I don't think Ghost is actually that viable. I mean, she's still viable, don't get me wrong, but I think she's much more viable with Suicides. Kitty Pride, like you said.
And like Omega and Warlock. And Shang-Chi kind of to an extent. I mean, I've seen some really impressive stuff from Shang-Chi still without Sui's, but then with Sui's, he's just ridiculous, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Any of the other mutants that come to mind? I'm trying to... I mean, given... in certain matchups, obviously, like, Magneto could be ridiculously fast, but I wouldn't classify him as, like, a general nuke, necessarily.
You have SPX and Domino, who are a little bit reliant on RNG, so for that reason, I don't really like them as nukes, but other people who are fine with those RNG matchups, SPX and Domino, can get some ridiculously quick fights. You've got Bishop against any shrugging matchup, you've got, Who else? Do we
Yeah,
list Sunspot and Archangel and Omega,
yeah,
or
yeah. We
sorry?
got Sunspot and AA,
Alright.
and uh, okay, Bishop and Domino. Yeah, I agree to a degree with like Finn was saying Bishop and Domino. I think I agree in a sense. I guess I wouldn't consider them general nukes just because
Yeah.
I feel like Bishop, like a general nuke when it comes to the, like you said, those specific matchups, but that's not what I consider a general nuke. Like if they're shrugging, he's ridiculous. Like a
Yeah,
kingpin,
you've
you're gonna
got
absolutely obliterate.
he's gonna destroy most skill matchups as well. Kind of like Storm, Bishop and Storm fall into that same boat to me. Or I mean, pretty much any skill champ they're gonna destroy. And then I mean Storm has her matchups outside of that when you've got the debuffs going, of course, and then Bishop has his things with Shrug. I wouldn't classify it as a general nuke just because I mean it does need to be a matchup for your opponent to place for it to be good.
Yeah. Vega, Finn adding Spider Ham to the list. And Vega asking, would the rank of champions change the recoil designation? Like an R4 Shang or Kitty not need recoil to be a nuke? Yeah, I think 100%. Like this is again like a very loose like list that we're just kind of making on the fly. I think it kind of obviously is super case specific on your roster. Some you're gonna have rank 4 champions that other people don't have. They're gonna have different like some defenders at rank 3 that if you have a rank 4 you're going to nuke through them, but I would generally say that even a rank 4 kitty, like just because of the fact that your basic hits don't hit that hard without suicides and you basically have to get to an SP2 ideally with some prowess intensity built up, I just don't consider her a nuke without suicides in general. Yeah, feel free to weigh in, nerd.
For Shang-Chi, I know Vega specifically has his Shang-Chi at Sig 200 as well. And then
Yeah.
Sig 200 Shang-Chi at R4 is going to be pretty close to the damage that an R3 Shang-Chi unduped with Sui's is doing anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
So, I mean, that's still going to be ridiculous, you know?
Yeah, and Shang I'm actually keeping in the general category just because I feel like he can be... I think he's highly effective even without suicides. It might take you a couple more of your chi charges, but you're still hitting really, really hard, and you have the guaranteed crits built in, which also helps. Finn, moving on to science class, maybe, because Finn was throwing out some options there.
For science class, I mean, you've got Mr. Negative, and then you've got Scorpion and Spider-Ham. Scorpion and Spider-Ham have just a little bit of RNG involved in them with needing the opponent to throw specials, of course.
Yeah.
And then, what's it called? For a Sui's deck, you've got Red Hulk, who's just ridiculous with Sui's.
Yeah.
And
I'm trying to think.
And you've got Overseer, who, in the right matchup, can nuke some stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would consider Overseer. I'm adding a third column, but kind of matchup based nukes. So you got like your bishops here, your Storm X's. Honestly, your Storm as well, I would say, fits into that category. Because, like you said, I don't consider Overseer necessarily a nuke with or without suicides, unless you can take advantage of like his sig ability and just being able to ramp up. Like, for example, I think he's a nuke against I-Bomb. But I don't think Man Thing, but I don't think like against any champ I would consider him a nuke.
On Quicksilver Vega, I think he's going to be ridiculous in BGs, because from some of the stuff I've been seeing, I think you're going to be able to just throw a single special 2 and instantly kill a fight with Quicksilver.
Yeah, Quicksilver is kind of a question mark for me. I think he may fit into that category. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Oh, yeah. Also
B McG, welcome. Saying R4 is an Overseer is a nuke versus so many champs, in your opinion. Hey, I'll take your word for it. I will consider moving him to the nuke category. I personally don't have a rank 4, so I can't really speak to that. Like I said, this list is kind of dependent on your roster. Like we were saying, Vega has a Sig 200 rank 4 Shang-Chi. He's going to hit really, really hard, and mine's a rank 3 Sig 20. And the output's just different there. Does Na run Storm X for offense or defense? I'm assuming for both. I think her glancing can cause issues in some metas.
Yeah, her glancing is insane on defense. Storm Pyramidex is a really, really good time slower. I mean, there are some pretty hard counters to Storm Pyramidex. I mean, you've got Sunspot, who punishes glancing, of course, but
Yeah.
he really slows down almost everyone.
You're missing the god of all skill nukes, mcoc. You're right. I did forget mcoc.
Oh, yeah.
The skill class has a lot of just like really fast damage output, especially in the damage over time category.
That skill class is just ridiculous in BGs. It basically invalidates like most of the science defenders because of how ridiculous it is.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of if we're missing anyone in the science class. We've got Mr. Negative, we've got Human Torch, we've got Scorpion. I guess, what are your thoughts? Here's one that I could see people throwing out there just because he's a favorite champ of a lot of people, is Spider-Man 2099. I kind of rule him out because I feel like even at Sig 200, his I just don't feel like he has this damage speed, but I've been having people tell me otherwise.
For Spider-99, one thing I've noticed when he gets used against me is when Spider-99 was in a Sui's deck, he was ridiculous because people had killed my defenders. Like, someone killed my maw in a single specialty with Spider-99 in Sui's. So I would kind of class him into that Sui's deck portion.
Okay. Yeah. Finn saying I've been called a cheater multiple times for using Masakre and BGs. It's hilarious. Yeah, that's always fun. I had someone message me. I'm trying to remember what it was a Joe Fixit matchup. Someone messaged me and called me a cheater because I killed something so fast with Joe Fixit. I still don't consider him a nuke, but he can do more than people. But that's always a good feeling when someone calls you a cheater, when you're not a cheater. Eric
I've had
says
some matchups where I definitely would have thought I was a cheater if I wasn't the person taking the fight.
Eric says
against Andy and Nuno, I took a Sui's also with Nick Fury and just ended at 100%.
Oh yeah, I remember that fight. That was really funny. Eric Sai saying my R4 Overseer kills pretty quick once you hit Cosmic Mode, it's over. Yeah. My issue with Overseer is always just getting to that Cosmic Mode quickly, and keeping it up long enough in certain fights. Grinfeld
Overseer kind of falls into that same category as Nimrod. It is mostly just an issue of getting to the point where you can end the fight, but once you get there, it's just over. But the thing I found is oftentimes you do need a matchup to specifically feed you that Cosmic Mode.
Yeah, that's been my experience as well. But again, mine isn't. I think, again, like a big caveat here is like some champions at rank 4, like they're your general nuke. Like, or even if it's just like a champion that you're really good with, that like other people don't necessarily have, they could be a nuke for you where they might not be in my very ambiguous, super, like based on my opinion nuke list. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, for skill, there's also Crossbones.
And for me, like, for example, for my skill class, I'm adding my Elsa in there because I think she hits ridiculously hard, really fast. But other people might not necessarily agree with that. B. McG saying Sig 200 really helps Overseer for BGs. In my opinion, the extra damage from punishing heavies and specials helps so much. Yeah, 100%. It's a lot of damage at Sig 200. Grinfeld saying it's not an issue. It's so easy to build those gamma charges, especially if he's duped. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of matchups where I consider Overseer like ridiculously fast, and I think he's one of the better two-way champs actually, just because he poses an interesting problem on defense that you have to have a counter for. JJ, welcome. Always good to see you. Hope you're having a lovely Monday across the pond. Okay, this is a pretty decent list, and again, like I said, there's always the caveat of your roster, who you've got ranked up, who you're really good with. Like, for example, Na uses OG BP all the time and just, like, absolutely obliterates things. But when I've used Black Panther, I've gotten very bad results. So, that would be kind of my caveat there. Why is my mouse dead? There we go. Okay. To get back to, I guess, kind of again, because I think the thing that I want the most for this defensive analysis page to help me do is to identify and prioritize who to rank up next, whether that's an offensive option for a defensive counter or a defender that I see being very strong against me that I also want to have in my deck. I guess how do you go about, like, as you look at the resources that you have available, right? We all are working with limited resources. How do you go about identifying who my next rank up is going to be?
It's a little bit complicated. I mean, a
Yeah,
lot of my
100%.
rank ups I've just seen from other people in like Line and Discord chats doing crazy shit doing crazy shit
Yeah.
with champs, and that's been where a lot of my rank ups have come from, to be honest. And then for ranking for attack, I think again just ranking the general nukes that counter the defenders you are having issues with is the biggest thing.
Yeah. All right, so
Identifying those defenders that are going to give your deck's issue is the difficult thing, and it really is just a tedious and time-consuming process, just filling in all the hard counters, all the soft counters you have, and then limiting down the ones that you don't want to include in your deck, and yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So let's maybe just real quick go through an exercise. Let me turn this on so you guys can see it real quick. I don't know if that worked. Bring it to the front, maybe. There we go. Let me just fix the size of this real quick. Move it up. But maybe let's go through and using Safeguard as an example, talk a little bit about building a deck and kind of identifying gaps in your roster. So I'm just going to go through here, like I said, and start adding a bunch of champions. I want to do this as quickly as possible, but so as I go through my deck, I'm just going to add them in here. This is, not who I put. Let's go Hercules, Cap Sam, let's get Nimrod, Elsa, let's get Maw, Mortal Abomination, is it just Maw? Okay. Mortal Abomination, let's get Warlock, Tigra, Cersei. Let's scroll over, grab Mojo, why not? Falcon, Void.
Just while you're doing this, I'll talk about how I started building my deck in my own spreadsheet. So the first thing I did was just filling in the first thing I did was filling in the time stallers for defenders, of course, and then filling in the general nukes for attack. And then I input these guys and went and saw where all of their strengths and weaknesses are in defenders. And then I, from that point, filled in the anti-nuke defenders that I was going to need and the specific counter attackers that I was going to need. Like, my deck was, again, weak for Korg from the general nukes, so I put in Storm to my deck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's generally the approach I tend to take as well. For time's sake, I'm not going to think through it too much, but I agree. I tend to start with, okay, what are the defenders I absolutely want to have in my deck? That, again, just win based on stalling if you don't have like the perfect matchup for them. And even if you do, let's get some more of these in here.
And then, of course, I mean, in specific metas, you want to fill in
Yeah.
certain defenders. Like, they're in Safeguard, you probably want, like, Emma Frost in G99 or something.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get Mordo. Okay, what... I guess an interesting question while I just finish this up real quick is... Obviously, like, a lot of people just tend to ban, like, certain champs. Like let's say you're someone with a rank 4 torch, he's always going to get banned. Or let's say you have one of those champs that like almost every matchup that you face someone, they tend to ban that champion. What's your approach to that? Would you tend to leave that champion in your deck, or would you take them out of your deck so that I guess it makes them ban someone else?
I mean, yeah, I've been building off the strategy recently, building off the strategy of what my opponents ban recently, because almost every single time, both my R4 Nick Fury and my R4 Hit Monkey just get constantly banned. So for this, I'm of course going to keep these guys in my deck, because taking up a ban is great. But what I'm going to do for this is then I'm going to strengthen the rest of my skill deck. So, okay, someone is getting rid of my Nick Fury and my Hit Monkey. Okay, I'm going to rank Stealthy, and I'm going to rank Shang-Chi, and then I'm going to have a bunch of skill nicks anyway.
Yeah. Eric's saying APOC banished to the BG Shadow Realm now. Yeah, APOC is I have conflicting opinions about APOC. I think he's a decent defender, just because he's so tanky. I think he's super matchup dependent as an attacker, and generally even in his versus mutant matchups, I find him to be too slow. There's maybe some exceptions to that, but in general, APOC has sat out of more of my decks than I would have thought he would.
Yeah, I took out APOC from my deck a while ago. Pretty much the second I got good enough champs to justify taking him out of my deck.
Yeah. Because again, like if we look at how I built this sheet, like I tend to, and again, just randomly typing in champs, it kind of ended up this way, and this is kind of due to just how I rank champions up, and I want to generally have probably 2/3 of my champs, if possible, be two-way threats. Champions that will be solid on defense and can at least have like matchup specific offensive capabilities, and then I want about the rest of my third to be a split of like just hardcore defenders and like pure nukes, if you will, that only have one purpose. Is that kind of the ratio you go for too, or do you lean heavily into defenders and nukes and then just kind of figure out the two-way threats as like filler?
Yeah, I'm honestly not a big fan of 2-ways for BGs. I mean, because most of the ones for 2-ways in BGs are either sacrificing either attacking strength or sacrificing defensive strength. So the thing I've generally done is just going very hard on the strong attackers and going very hard on the strong defenders. And I mean, some of those are still going to be 2-ways, of course. I mean, you've got Nick Fury, who's probably the best attacker and the best defender as well.
Yeah, I classify. I think it's interesting because I think Nick Fury to me becomes a little bit, and again, you have a rank 4, so it's probably a little bit different. But for me, like I just got a rank 3 Nick Fury, and I don't generally tend to run deep wounds or anything like that. I find him to be fast still, and like I think he has a lot of strong utility as an attacker that makes him, like you said, like a valuable attacker. But like if I have Nick Fury, I almost always put him on defense, if that makes sense. Like to me, he has kind of slotted in as a defender just purely because of how I use him.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have deep wounds, of course.
Yeah.
It's kind of depend. Recently in the lower HP metas, I've mostly been using him as a defender. I mean, most of the time he's just banned, but when I have him, it's mostly been as a defender in the lower HP metas. Because with Nick Fury, I mean, his fight, it's kind of like Stark Spidey. His fight speeds were basically the same in the bigger HP as they are in the lower HP meta, which is still really quick, because it's basically just get to special 2 and the fight's over a lot of the time if you have that 5 out of 5 deep wounds. But it's definitely, he's gotten an increase comparatively to his defensive strength, whereas the lower HP metas, his attacking strength has remained about the same.
Yeah. So if you were going through this deck that, like, again, I've just thrown together really quick, because again, the purpose, what I want to do here is essentially put the things necessary into this to identify weaknesses. Like, that's what I want this deck builder, like, part of the sheet to be able to do. So if, like, looking at this this deck that's thrown together, like, what would you want added to this, or I guess how would you go about, I guess, identifying what gaps this deck specifically has that we just built on the fly?
Well, looking at it first, I mean, the thing that appears to me is it looks just a little bit weak attacking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's just not that many nukes, basically.
Yeah.
That's
So
the biggest weakness. You've got a lot of really strong defenders, and you've got a lot of those decent attacking options who are going to do well in specific options, but you've got a lot less of the nukes.
yeah, so if this was your deck, like you said, you tend to focus on defenders and attackers. So maybe you'd come in here and you'd say, I'm going to remove some of the two-way threats, maybe, like, let's say Falcon, who's very matchup specific for getting good damage out of him, and his utility, in my opinion, can be matched by some other champions. So maybe you'd say come in here and rip him out and put in a champion like Tigra. Yeah. So we could do that. How do you, I guess, and again, this is where I think it's going to be super meta dependent, and you have to be tracking your defenders as well. But how do you analyze, like, not just purely defenders and attackers, but like a specific like set of utility or counter that you don't necessarily have? Because that's been the hard thing for me to build into here. Like, I know off the top of my head here, for example, who can counter evade, who's bleed immune, who's poison immune, who's nullify immune, but I find it hard for me to find a way to effectively, like, classify these champions so that at a glance I can tell what kind of utility gaps I have.
I think for BGs, it's less of a thing for utility, because a lot of the matchups you're taking, you're not exactly using, the best utility option for it. You're just using, okay, this is going to go quickest. Like, I mean, my best matchup for Doctor Doom, for example, has been Hitmonkey, and Hitmonkey has 0 utility for that matchup, basically.
Yeah.
And then, so the thing I've gone about it, and it really is a time-consuming and tedious process, but I just have been filling in. Okay, these are the defenders that I need to be able to stop. These are the attackers that I need to be able to stop with my defenders. And I just go time-fill. It's a tedious, time-consuming process, but I just go, okay, I'm going to put in the really strong ones that I need in my deck. I'm going to fill this in, and then I'm going to look at, okay, what of the lesser strong attackers might I need to put into my deck to fill some of these weaknesses of the super strong defenders and super strong attackers?
Yeah, and Finn making a good point. Like, if if like we said, we're putting this together for Safeguard, there are some champions that I think, you could remove. So, for example, Chavez, I think that's, like, again, there's a lot of damage over time nukes that would take care of her. You could get rid of someone like Mr. Fantastic and start to make some more meta-specific, like, defensive additions. Like, again, I don't have this champion ranked, so he's not going to show up in my options, but you could add, like, a King Groot in here, G2099, I think I have her, in the deck to try to essentially build some defenders in there that might be really, really strong in the Safeguard meta, but not necessarily, again, long shot even as a defender here. I don't have him ranked up either, but as, like, a sneaky counter to some AAR Safeguard options. Yeah, Finn saying the node being Safeguard, it's safe to assume the opponent's deck is filled with champs, meant to counter that with AAR or strong DOT. And, yeah, they shut down the champions that you mentioned, which I agree with. So
for building for, like, specific metas, at least so far, Kabam have put out posts or, like, a few weeks ahead of time they let us know what the nodes are going to be anyway. So I think building for specific metas, you're going to be able to just have that time after, like, the announcement post anyway. So I think it would be smart to just build for the generic metas for now, like the no nodes, the steady build up, the bubble shield, the masochism, that you're basically going to be able to take the same principles and just make some slight tweaks with, other than the metas that make, like, big changes, like Safeguard and Power Snack,
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, I think everyone kind of has a different philosophy when it comes to building decks, and what I'm interested in is kind of trying some of the, like, being able to track the different decks that I build. That's again why I've been doing this, because I think there's been times I've built, kind of like you said, the very like defense and nuke focused decks, and then there's been, again, probably more metas where I build like my preferred style of building a deck, which is a lot of two-way threats and then balancing out with like the nukes that I have and the defenders that I have. And being able to actually like track which of those decks like not feels better but actually statistically performs better in that meta, I think will be interesting. Eric's eye saying interesting. So would long shot slow down and AA enough in safeguard? Absolutely not. AA no, because what AA's damage and safeguard doesn't come from his AA reduction. It comes from the fact that he just applies a ridiculous amount of damage over time.
Long shot would slow down like a crossbones or a falcon, but
yeah,
not that.
Yeah, I only mentioned that matchup because like in one of the first matchups in safeguard, it totally slipped my mind, and I took a long shot with a falcon, and it did not go well. But yeah, so I think there's lots of different ways you can go about building a deck, and obviously like your champions that you have, and like your deck's going to be stronger for certain metas than it is for other metas. Like I performed really well in Safeguard and Masochism. I didn't perform as well in Power Snack, but it was fine. And I probably had my weakest deck for this just generally very, like you said, nerd, very nuke heavy meta where it's just like small health pools, like kill it as fast as you can. Because I'm missing a lot of the options on like this nuke list that we put together. Like I don't have Hit Monkey at rank 3. I don't have Black Widow Deadly Origins at rank 3. I have some of these champs, but like Sunspot is not an option for me, and some others. So I've been trying to think about ranking some of those, slowly working them up, but gold is a severe issue for me now. So
oh man, I hope Gavam fixed the gold issue. I've had to skip like several level ups at this point because it's either spend the gold on these rank ups or have to, spend battle chips and loyalty on AQ tickets, which I don't want to do.
Yeah, so speaking of level up, there's a level up on right now. So while I have the advantage of having Nerd's big brain on the call, let's decide on a champion to rank up. So, first of all, I just want to run you through kind of my deck, my roster as quickly as possible. So this is kind of how I broke things down for my deck. So I'll give you a second to take a look at that. But essentially, I classified nukes, solid attackers, and again, some of these are debatable. Like mcoc could probably go into the nukes category. I'm just personally not that skilled with him yet. I'm a little slow. But, and then, yeah, so I'll give you a chance to look at that. There are also some defenders that I think I would want to rank up, but I do have a decent amount of strong defenders ranked.
Yeah, your attacking deck, your defensive deck looks pretty strong.
So, one option that I'm definitely considering. So actually, maybe we'll do this today because my skill class is my smallest class in general. Maybe let's talk about Hit Monkey versus Black Widow Deadly Origins, because these are two champions that I've had at rank 2 now for quite a while, both waiting to go up. Obviously, you mentioned that you use your Hit Monkey quite a bit for a lot of matchups. Yeah, so I guess what are your thoughts comparing those two champions, Black Widow Deadly Origins and Hit Monkey?
I think Hit Monkey is just outright the best Battlegrounds nuke. He is ridiculous.
Okay. Does that include if you're not running suicides?
Oh yeah, I don't run suis for most of my stuff. The main thing that changes from running suis and not running suis is oftentimes when you're not running suis, you kind of want to do some 5-hit combos mixed in to get to your L2 quicker. Mm-hmm. And you want to make sure you're getting that Assassin's Cunning for the crit bleeds, whereas if you're running suis, he's just kind of mindless. You have to think about your fights more if you're not running suis, but he's still just as quick. Well, not just as quick, but he's still just as ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Is his value to
I
you
mean,
just purely like even in like do you use him in bleed immune matchups and just take advantage of the fact that you have those guaranteed crits? Because in my experience, like the
yeah,
guaranteed crits aren't that large without suicide. Like they're still guaranteed crits, right?
yeah.
But
The one thing he does have really going for him in the bleed immune matchups is during his whatever his orange phase is called,
yeah,
he bypasses all resistances.
mm,
So that makes him super duper strong for something like a Mangog or a Nimrod or a thing that have a bunch of resistances he's going to shred through. And the main thing on the bleed immune matchups is instead of just going for your 3-hit combos, because that's going to be slower, you want to do your 3-hit combo to get the orange phase up, and then you want to switch into 5-hit combos, because in those bleed immune matchups, instead of your combos killing, it's generally going to be your L2 killing. So the 5-hit combos getting you to that L2 quicker is going to end fights quicker.
yeah, yeah, makes sense. What are your thoughts though in general on Black Widow Deadly Origins? Because fintech in the chat essentially saying Hit Monkey with recoil, Black Widow without would be his call. Eric Sai saying Hit Monkey since Black Widow's playstyle can be a bit riskier. Is your Hit Monkey rank 4 or rank 3?
Yeah, my hit monkeys are 4.
Yeah, so that's also obviously a caveat. He hits harder at rank 4.
The other thing is, Hitmonkey just is a bit less AI reliant than Black Widow W Origin, because I mean, it is just baiting heavies or going for intercepts, so it's not super AI reliant or anything.
Yeah.
But there is still a good bit of difference between Black Widow W Origin fights. Sometimes you're going to get those 25-second kills, sometimes it's going to be like 35 seconds. She's still going to be ridiculous all the time, of course. But, you know, Hitmonkey's just always ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the big thing with Hitmonkey is he counters pretty much all of the tough defenders. Like, I think you saw in my video where I went over my deck building, I just had Hitmonkey as a hard counter.
Yeah. I was like, I was going through your hard counters, and it was like Nick, Hitmonkey, Nick, Hitmonkey, Nick, Hitmonkey. I was like, okay, so, I know who to ban now, but yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I think they're both gonna go up at some point, but for now, oh, am I missing skill catalyst? Let's go get that stuff real quick. We'll try out Hitmonkey again. We're still waiting on a meta, so this isn't gonna make that much of a difference. I'm sure by then I'll be able to rank both if I really had to, but
yeah, I mean, you definitely want to get Black Widow up as well. She's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen I used her even at rank 2 in several metas just because of the ridiculous amount of damage over time. I think I used her in the Safeguard meta even as a rank 2, and she was perfectly adequate in getting through some things. But at that point, I didn't have Hitmonkey at rank 2, so I'm not sure. I think I would give Black Widow the edge in the Safeguard meta specifically. I know that Hitmonkey obviously has a disorient that can get around it. He has some weapons there.
All that much in Safeguard. He definitely got pretty hard countered by that. His crit bleed still did a lot of damage, so I still got some 30-second fights and whatnot, but with Safeguard, it was to a point where either you get lucky on crit bleeds and you get a really quick fight, or you just lose the matchup if you don't get that good RNG during Safeguard.
Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna rank up Hitmonkey. I guess before I do that, one other thing, because I want to rank up a Cosmic Champion as well, because I have
and just one note for Hitmonkey is, if you're in a matchup where you can bleed, would make sure to, after you do your first medium combo to get the phase ready, just make sure it's a parry instead of an intercept or anything, so you can get that purple phase that gets you the crit bleeds and all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So one other thing here, I've already got Finn's opinion on this, and I think this is kind of where I'm leaning, but I'm curious about your insight as well. Also, welcome, Jay Will. Good to see you, buddy. Eric Sai saying I didn't use my new rank 3 Black Widow as much as I wanted last beta, just because I wasn't as comfortable with her as with other skills. Yeah, that's fair enough. So when it comes to do you have the stream pulled up so you can see?
Yeah, I have the stream pulled up.
Because it's obviously not on the deck builder tool. But the champion that I was kind of leaning to, and again, this is just a rank 1 to rank 2 for now, just because I have, again, some T4CC expiring. But I was kind of leaning towards Vision, again, with the two-way / defender in mind. I think he's primarily like a defensive option. I know you have shown Gamora some love, so I guess just like looking at some of these champs here that I've got at rank 1 in the Cosmic class, do you have any input or thoughts?
If you can take Surfer to a high sig, he is ridiculous in Battlegrounds. There's a bit of a learning curve to getting down his cycles and everything, but he's been one of my strongest attackers. That's my R4.
Yeah.
He's definitely one that I would want to take up, but at low sig, he's a lot slower, of course. It really helps to have him at high sig because, especially the potency of that power gain, just makes your cycle actually feel
Effective.
cycle instead of just throwing shit.
Yeah.
And Gamora, she's a little bit of a weird one because she does have some RNG reliance. She's kind of like Hyperion in that way on attack. Or she can get those Hail Mary fights for you, but in my opinion, Gamora, if you need to have a round where you don't want to have any RNG, you can just go for her L2 and instead of the L1, and then the L2 with that strat. There's still RNG, but it's basically an amount of RNG that just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think she's a really strong one, and Vision Arcus is interesting. The issue I have with the Vision Arcus is that he just gets destroyed by most of the skill nukes again.
Yeah.
Because you've got all those shruggers, you've got Crossbones, you've got Hit Monkey, you've got Kingpin and whatever that's gonna destroy him. Yeah. I mean, he's still gonna be a decent defender, but a little bit less of an extreme one like Gamora or Surfer that are gonna be getting you lopsided wins or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So my just at full transparency, like I'm like Surfer is one of those champions that like I just borderline refuse to rank up just because I know I'm not really wanting to invest the SIGs into him, and I just don't personally enjoy him as much. I know it would probably be I know I get a lot of shit for this in officer chat because I'm like, I'd rather like stick a cactus up my butt than rank up Surfer, but I like, again, I know that Surfer's a strong champion and I've seen his offensive capabilities. It's just like, to me, he's like just not anywhere near the top of my list just because of personal preference.
Yeah, I get that. Moira's definitely your strongest attacker there. Medusa's an interesting one. If you are having issues with Omega Sentinel especially, she's one of the best counters to Omega Sentinel. Especially with the low health pool Omega Sentinel has, she can just shred through it. She is very matchup dependent, but one of the nice things I found with Medusa is that oftentimes she can actually force your opponent's picks to, instead of wanting to pick that Omega Sentinel or wanting to pick that Nimrod, or if they've already picked it, you can just force them to not place it, or force them to use it on attack instead, or whatnot. And there's a good bit of drafting there, but of course, with Undupe, it's not going to be as strong. And for defenders, you've got King Groot, who, I mean, Undupe, it's a little bit less so, but he's a pretty good, just general time staller.
Yeah, just because he's so freaking tanky.
Yeah, and the debuff shrug helps counter a lot of nukes that are reliant on debuffs and whatnot. So, I mean, he's just a pretty good all-around. Again, he's the one that's never really going to get a lopsided matchup.
Yeah.
He's just generally going to do pretty decently.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of champions. There's a lot of champions that I'd kind of put into that category. Like, I think Cosmic class has some of the more, like, some kind of annoying defenders, like Super Skrull. Again, I'd prefer him to be Awakened, but I find him to just like have the potential to cause some issues. Same thing with like Annihilus and Nova. There's a lot of champions in this class that I feel like they're not like the most ridiculous defenders, and like they're definitely counterable, but they aren't necessarily like they're not necessarily easy either. I think like if you don't have a good counter to them, you can be a little slow or take a little bit of damage that you can't really avoid.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about Cosmic class for defenders is that, you know, they're both weak to the Mystic, of course, and then they're also weak to the nukes, so you've got a lot more to look out in terms of attackers that are going to destroy them.
Yeah.
But they can be decent if they don't get a good matchup. I just try to lean for my Cosmics in my deck to just be purely attacking options, really.
Yeah.
You know? Except for, like, Hercules and Hulkling. Those two are just ridiculous on defense.
Yeah, I mean, with Herc, basically, unless you... Like, there's basically two ways to deal with his immortality, and, like, both of them require a sacrifice in a sense. or a specific counter. Like one requires you to like build to SP3, and the other is to like have something that can make sure that it doesn't come up when he reaches 0 health. But both of those are requirements.
The other nice thing is the Infuriate really turns off a lot of abilities. So even if you're using one of the hard counters, like for example, Tigra.
Yeah.
You know, even though Tigra is going to be really, really quick, it's going to be a little bit slower than most matchups just because you are going to get that Infuriate that will sometimes fill your whatever it's called. Ruptures, so you're just going to get that little bit slower fight, so even in a perfect matchup, he's still going to be a nuisance.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, I'm kind of undecided here. I might come back to this, but yeah, let's rank up Hitmonkey, but,
Hitmonkey versus is not going to work because he has guaranteed crits that are going to get all that resistance. I think what's it called? The resistance bypassing phase is going to be a little bit harder to get up as well, just because you are either going to have to hit into his block or hit an intercept, but instead of being able to get off an intercept, you're going to get auto blocked, and that's not going to be fun.
Yeah, I really wish my Medusa was awakened, because I do think she is a pretty interesting champion that I wish I could have in my deck, but I don't really want to invest a generic into her at this point.
Yeah.
I need to get some ice. But alright, I think we covered most of the stuff that I wanted to cover. I guess any just final thoughts, I'll kind of, like, the stream will kind of come to a close with just ranking up some champions here for, just with Battlegrounds in mind, because that's really the only content in the game right now. But I guess any final thoughts on, or like messages that you would want to tell to someone that is trying to improve at Battlegrounds, try to become a stronger player, whether it's about mindset, whether it's about their roster, kind of anything you tell to someone trying to improve in Battlegrounds.
I think once you get to the higher levels, one of the good things to note is oftentimes a lot of people just have like specific tendencies, so if you're matching someone again and again, which happens a lot in the top 100 because there's less people to match and all, you can just find out what they are specifically going to work well with, even if it's not like a general champ that's going to work well, or you can find out what they have in their deck specifically that causes you issues and all. I think keeping track of your opponent's tendencies is going to help a lot.
Yeah, I think Finn was mentioning that earlier. Hi, apathetic. Good to see you, buddy. Have you tried Hitmonkey into Nova? I think he mentioned that. Nova does slow down some nukes. Nova just he's one of those champions that, like I said, is one of the cosmic class's potential to just cause some issues. There's ways around it, obviously, but he does have potential to cause some issues. But yeah, I would agree. Like Finn said earlier, he keeps notes on some of the opponents he tends to face. But again, I do agree with you that I think that starts to come into play a lot more in the top 100, and especially like as you crack into the top 50, I feel like the higher you go, the less diverse the people that you face. Just because
I think at one point I matched someone like 4 times in an hour when I was at the top.
It's pretty brutal.
And I mean, in those matchups, I really like the strategies in those matchups because you kind of get into a mind game with your opponent and all. It's pretty fun.
Okay, I didn't get skill ISO, but this was a pretty sweet. I'll take that for sure. 6-star Punisher 2099.
Nice.
Not mad about that at all. Still don't have enough skill ISO, but whatever. But like I said, we're gonna finish out by ranking up some champions, just chilling with chat. But I want to give you some of your time back, Nerd. Again, I appreciate you hopping on and all the valuable insight that you provided. Really appreciate you helping me out, and I'm sure we'll talk more about Battlegrounds in the future.
All right, take care, man.
Yeah, no problem. You too, buddy. Huge thanks to Nerd. Let's finish ranking up some champions. Again, I feel like I learned a lot, and hopefully the stream was helpful to some or one of you out there finish ranking up Hitmonkey, see how far away we are on this ISO. But again, link in the chat to Nerd's channel, and I'm going to also pin his link is in the description, so I'm going to pin now the doc to this tool. So again, you can just click on file and make a copy if this is something that you want to use. Let's get Hitmonkey ranked up, and maybe if we have enough gold, we'll rank up a Cosmic Champion as well. I'm just gonna dump this stuff into him and then go grab skill ISO. Yeah, just hang out and chat with you guys for a bit. Again, thanks for hanging out all this time. And then if I might just hop into, if any of you need incursions, maybe I'll do just like some incursions with the viewer, because I just needed to get milestones. So a quick 8x5 if anyone wants. Nerd's gonna be my BG coach. It's a good one to have, man. Dude knows his stuff. Ugh, I have no gold, man. It's bad. Alright, let's get some ISO. Got a good, decent amount. K-Dog, dude, welcome. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Level 30. Oh, gold's low, ISO's low. Let's see if I missed any crystals. Hold on. I don't think I did. And I don't think it is skill day, unfortunately. Let's grab this. Let's grab all this crap. Okay. That should give us some 10k bricks at least of ISO. Let me go open my gold crystals because I'm gold broke again. Yeah, I just, man, I need Battlegrounds to come back already. That's the real issue here. Legends, I think. Some more gold here. Take it. Hopefully that should do. I guess I could open. Maybe I'll get lucky out of the cab and stuff like that. Let's see what happens. Skill 4-star. Let's go. And Eric said, I know you said early, but thanks for the sub. Really appreciate it, man. Yeah. Anyone in the chat, let me know if you want to run quick milestones incursions. You can do that. Oh. Touchdown. Actually massive. Alright, let's go. Hopefully that will get us pretty close on Hitmonkey. Let's go see. Actually rigged. Oh yeah, monkey boy. Okay. So close. 6 levels. Let's see here. Let's open a 4-star crystal, maybe. I hate using, especially with how little gold I have, I hate using my ISO like that, so. Wait, I just opened the wrong, oh, I'm stupid. So dumb. Well, got some Cosmic ISO for when I rank up a Cosmic. Now we gotta get really lucky out of the general. Oh, and we're also very close to a featured pull, so we're gonna try for a couple more, I think. Try to get Hulkling and try to get Black Cat and Omega Sentinel. Oh, more Cosmic ISO, great. Alright, open a couple 5 stars, I guess. Try to get some ISO. I think I'll just go generic ones. A couple. Hope for a skill champ or 2 in here. Nope. New champ though. That's pretty sweet. I'll open a couple more. Burning through all my shards, but that's fine. Then if we don't get skill here, I'll probably just wow, pulled and duped. Okay. Well, I guess we're using non-specific ISO. So let's do that real quick. Where are you at, buddy? Skill champs. Hit monkey. Get him ranked up. Painful on the gold, but do what you gotta do. And that should just about do it. So we can now go to our deck tool, add in our newest champ, add him into the nuke category, hit monkey, rank 3, skill champion. Okay. So got him ranked up. So now let's look at our class balance, and then we're gonna go open a featured, because I think we got there. Okay, so rank 3s and 4s. That was, I think, number 61, but we've got 12 science, we've got 10 skill, so getting up there on the skill, 9 mutants, 9 cosmic, 10 tech, and 11 mystic. So relatively balanced. Need to get a cosmic ranked and a mutant ranked up next, probably. Alright, one more crystal for the road. Alright, we really only want... Well, no, there's a lot of champs in here that we still need. I still need a Mega Sentinel. I still need Rintra. I still need Black Cat. And I still need Hulkling. So, let's pray for one of those. Let's pray that we get someone good. But realistically, we're probably getting Guardian Sigs, let's be honest. Elsa Sigs would be a consolation prize, I guess. We could use like 20 more on her to get her up to like 180 instead of 160. But if this is bad, this is probably going to be my last one. But there's still so many champs in here I need that, yeah, we shall see. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Oh well. Darkhawk, Awakening, in between 2 Hulklings. You win some, you lose some. That's more of a lose, but it is what it is. Let's go collect this crap. And we still do need to rank a champ a little bit. Yeah, oof is right, J-Will, but that's kind of how this feature's been going for me. Kabam trolling, yeah, 100%. Kabam hard trolling me. I think I have a bunch of like mini champions I can level up. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll just rank like this guy. I'm happy with that. Let's go with that. That should push us over the top, I think. Alrighty. Did it get us there? Yep, sweet. Get those gold crystals. Spend gold to make gold. Okay. All right. I'm going to switch scenes because I think we're done in the sheet for now. And I'm going to move over and do a quick 8x5 in incursions, either with someone random or with one of you. So up to y'all. If one of you wants to hop into incursions with me, that'd be great. If not, I'll give it a few minutes. Looks like we're going random. Oh wait, do this gold quick while we wait. Again, if any of you guys want to hop into an incursion, more than happy to run a quick run. What if I didn't need my champs? I mean, you can use any champs. It's off to lunch. Thanks for the stream. I'll catch you next time. Hey, appreciate the sub. Appreciate you stopping by, RXI. You don't need to use any good champs, Jason. We can use random champs. It's just 8x5. But yeah, RXI, appreciate you being here, man. Enjoy your lunch. And I get some as well here soon. I can use a break if you want to tour around. Yeah, for sure, man. Give me 1 second, I'll get you added after this. And we can go run it. Bink, 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 bink. Bink, bink, and you did. Nice. Alright, Bean, I don't think we're friends in game, so can you just send me a request real quick? Or I guess I can search for you if your game name and game is the same. You. Alright, sent your request. And then I'll invite you whenever you're ready. Get that 1,000 loyalty. And we're gonna bring back music back now that we don't have Nerd on call. First song. Nice. Okay. Sweet. Accept. These 6-star shards are worth it, but this 2-star arena is ground. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I guess I'll do it. I do need the shards. Alright, let's mess around a bit. Oh, you know how I haven't used in a while? The gang. Mordo. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, welcome Captain BT. I don't think I said hi to you yet. Glad you're here. And I respect the grind. I'll have to get on that a little bit later. Oh, hell yeah. Quicksilver. Dude, that's a team right there. I approve. I approve. Quicksilver. My man. Yeah, let's do 8 by 6 maybe for the extra gold if you don't mind. Should be pretty quick. Yeah, I'm excited to see what he does with that team. Yeah, and you can take whatever. I'll go right, I guess. Alright. Just take this guy down. Mordo's gonna be smacking fools and incursions. Oh, look at the soul barb damage. Let's go. Okay, I wasn't paying attention. It's fine though. You gotta love a 6-hit KO. Get that fury potency up. I'm interested to see how fast Quicksilver is in some of these matchups. Slash all those champs. I mean, I know Cap Sam's speed in here. It's pretty nuts. So Quicksilver kind of slow apparently. Let's try a different song. Let's try this one. I need to get a better playlist. Yeah, no worries, man. 2-star arenas, hey, get better rewards technically, probably. So, no worries. Let's get CMM a little ramped here. Getting a call from the wife in the middle of a fight. Oh. I'll have to call her back or die. $38 matches in and only 680k out of. Oh, yeah, that's brutal, man. That's brutal. I don't know if what's the total shards you can get? Like 10k? Is it 10k? Alright, I'm gonna let. 1 second, guys. I'm gonna call my wife back. I'll let Bean take. She might hit you up on your chat next. I don't think so. I'll let Bean take boss if this ever decides to load. Not much, man. Just watching my boy call his wife back. Alright, let's reload the game real quick. What would you all say is a good amount of loyalty to try to go into season 37 with? Couple million, I guess. Or a million. I mean. Alright, I think I have to reset the game. Hopefully it doesn't cost me the fight. Sorry, Bean. I don't know. What happened? 10k 6-star shard and a good bit of unit. Okay, yeah, I should probably do it. call me again if it's really important. But I'll call her back. Alright, he's in, boss. Let me call my wife back real quick. I will mute myself. I'll be right back, Bean. Bruh. Alright, sorry, Bean. I'm coming. I needed to determine whether we needed a basil or a rosemary plant. So, pretty, it's the life-changing decisions. Just kidding, she's gonna kill me. You fight like that. Yeah, mine did too, for some reason. But I'm on my way. It's a bleed potency. Yeah, my mini lagged out as well. It is important, man. If you're making that fresh pizza, you need rosemary. Let's get this first. Alright. Let's get it. That fury potency. Yo, Nick Fury's coat, so dope. Goodbye. Yeah, some of the songs in YouTube audio library are pretty fire though. Yeah, Quicksilver on some slowness. All right, let's do some more Mordo action. Special refund. Let's just clean this man up. Infamous Iron Man coming soon. I know. It's my next R4. It's gotta be. Dude, good to see you, buddy. I'm doing well. We had a good stream. Had Nerd on call for a good bit of it. Just taking a look at some Battlegrounds stuff. Ranked up a hit monkey. Now we're just getting some milestones and incursions. Then we're gonna wrap it up. But how you doing, man? How you been? Sadist. Let's go with this. Bop. And dead. You doing the 6-star shard arena at all? Yeah, I probably will. I don't know when, but I need the 6-star shards, so I'll try to do as much of it as I can. It's gonna be a drag. Sure. All good here, still on that Christian single train. Still working on that defense. Nice. Yeah, I need to lay a patio in my yard at some point. It's going to be a lot of work. I was talking to Love Shack about it since he laid his sidewalk. But glad you're doing well, man. No, I've never done it before. I just don't want to pay someone to do it. So could go very poorly. But it's just so freaking expensive to get someone to do it for you. It's like minimum $12,000, and I think I can do it. Like material cost is like bang bang. Yeah, CMM is still a ridiculous champion. Yeah, like I was saying, it's like minimum 12k, and I think the materials are only like 2k or something, so. Guten Abend, good evening. Good to see you, Box. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I don't want to pay 12,000 for something. It's the ground, so worst case, you just try again. Zach, welcome. Good to see you as well, buddy. Yeah, I mean, it's not quite that simple because it's like thousands of pounds of materials that you're putting in the ground, so if you mess it up, you have to remove thousands of pounds. Alright. Aspect of Evo. But yeah, technically I could just try again. Bop. 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 Mordo's kind of gnarly, I'm not gonna lie. 40k heavies. Nothing, I'm at work and taking a break. Nice. Remember to lift with your back in a quick twisting jerking motion. Dude, I already have back issues, so if that's what you think will fix it, I'll take your word for it. Oh, gotta get that heavy attack rating up. Got 3 champs that have valuable heavies. Yeah, I will have to get back to some work after we finish this, and then maybe grind this evening on that 2-star arena. I'm very curious about Quicksilver's speed, not gonna lie. Make any decisions on the new job opportunity? I'm doing kind of like an extended interview with my brother's company. So doing some work for him daily, kind of every day. Some like contract stuff. Opened 3 featured and got 3 modocs. That's pretty rough, man. boy. I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit here. I think we got it. Nice. Sig 80 mcoc is an animal, dude. I actually do kind of want to mcoc in my deck, but yeah, to answer your question, I have a fight in war using Quicksilver. He's struggling a bit right now. Go join AQ. I will at some point. It's only 3. Zarafa doesn't join until like section 3. I'll do it in a second. Yeah, so the new job opportunity, hopefully, after that, after a couple weeks here, I'll be able to know, risk it for the biscuit. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. But yeah, I'm like, as long as I join before like Penny is down tomorrow, I'm beating Zarafa. But yeah, I'll join after this too. Good shout. Okay. Had the same problem with my next R4. I just let my officers decide it's Penny, Cersei, Ma, or KP. I mean, all like obviously good options for defense. Well, most of them are defensive. Let's go to this. War start. Oh yeah, I should do. Oh wait, we can do some live war before the stream ends. That'll be fun. Just gotta go see what paths are open. Beely has left the chat. Technically, it's off season still. Yo, Mordo's gonna be smacking with this heavy. Bop bop. 32K. Oof. Did you watch the new HOD last night? Thought it was slow. Hey, Bao. Dude, good to see you, man. HOD. Oh, is that, what's it called? Game of Thrones or whatever? You doing 2-star arena? I will at some point. I have not started yet. But I will. You thought it was slow, though. Oh, okay. No, I haven't watched it yet, but we'll probably check it out at some point. House of Dragons, yeah, that's what it's called. Boy. Oof. That's a heavy. Next month I have 20 years in my company. Good luck for the new job. Nice, dude. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, ideally. At least, as long as the job is something that you truly enjoy and brings you fulfillment. Last AW I got 17 defender kills. Dude, it's kind of nuts. Oh, who'd you die with? Valk. Ruined. Valk got ruined. Oops, yeah. It happens, man. It's AQ time. See you, my man. Yeah, no worries, man. Go enjoy AQ as best you can. Going back to this song. I want to see you get Quicksilver against this Mojo. I'm gonna let Bean take this one. Bean, I do it all the time to Infamous. Surprise still wants my own. Hey, we usually make it through room 6. There's a reason his back hurts all the time. Yeah, I mean, mostly being injured in high school, but also carrying your ass. No, I'm just kidding. I mess up in incursions all the time. Did he die again? Oh, something glitched. No problem. I was gonna say, Bean, come on, man. My ghost is rank 3 and torch R4. Not nice. R4 torch is crazy. It's having me do the fight again. Okay. Yeah, incursions / this whole game is bugged, man. Alright, what fights am I gonna steal in a war today? The entire game is lagging? Yeah, that's what it feels like, pretty much. We now greet you from 2025, where Bean has finally killed Red Goblin, and... oh, shoot. Never mind. Is Quicksilver even alive? Yeah, he is. Alright. Should be an interesting fight for... well, I didn't read the notes. Yeah, you can do it. Crap, I can't donate because I'm on a work computer. Fake Chad as fake Chad. That would be pretty sick. It's all good though, man. No worries. Reason number 3 why I need to get a computer. Yeah, I'm glad my computer is still holding on because I don't want to build a new one. I just cleaned it out actually. And like, that was a whole process. Now it's all shiny again. Nice. Alrighty, let's go grab our note. Let's do this attribute boost thing. I think it's pretty cool. I forgot I had strategic movement on. Oh yeah, that's interesting because Quicksilver isn't buff immune. He's just what's it called? Dex immune. I guess I'll give you. Yeah, I'll take care of no retreat. That's gross. I'm still going Nick, I think. This thing should die pretty quickly anyway. that. Alright, let's see here. Oh, gross. Ow. I haven't seen this node in a while. Oh. Okay. Nope. Bad timing. That. Oh, whoops. Let's go with this. Hopefully that kills. Nice. Thank God. Bean's trying to get me killed. Alright, 1 second. Get him, Skeeter. Yeah, that was, my intercepts were not on point there. Iron Man on Caltrops. Ugh. Gross. Just get some armor rating, I guess. Nice. Alright. One more for the gold, and then we're done. I need to check out the beginning of the stream to see that BG tool is all about. Yeah, it was a good stream. I had a lot of fun talking to Nerd about kind of all the. I also have another stream that kind of shows the tool off a little bit more, and I'm not done with it, but hopefully get it. The like deck builder itself is pretty cool, and that's functional. So yeah, but it's in the pinned comment. Heavy. What do we got here? Limber. Close encounter. We'll take close encounters. Hey, buddy. What's going on? Hi, puppy. Okay, I'll take you on a walk in a minute. Hey, be nice. Hey, be nice. Hi. Hi, can you be nice? No? Can't be nice? Okay. We're sneezing a lot? Alright, got it. Go for this. Counter that. Now we're just gonna go for it. Bop, bop. Come here, buddy. My man climbed me. I forgot to bring a bleed immune. Yeah, I mean, that's not going to be ideal for caltrops, that's for sure. Alright, let's see here. Schadenfreude. Let's go with this. Bada bing. Dude, second life Nick Fury is an animal. Absolute Chad. Hello. Back to 2-star leveling. Hey. Gotta get it. I'll probably... Yeah, I'll let him take that with Quicksilver, I think. You got it, Bean. And then I'm gonna go just do a couple live war fights real quick with you guys, and then we'll call it a day, because I gotta go do some work. But gotta join AQ, gotta do a lot of things. Bow, 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 bow. I'm a little bit surprised that Quicksilver isn't like nullify immune or something. Or I guess not that surprised, but I feel like just being immune to Dex is not quite as powerful, obviously, as being immune to all buffs. But yeah, definitely still gonna go for him when his featured comes out, but not quite sure how he'll do in a lot of content. I'll have to have Bean send me some videos. Nice work, full 100% health, so clearly decent. Oh, I hate this song. Let's go with that. Nope, these are all the B McG songs. Got this. 69 champ still at level 1 rank 1. Yeah, that's fair enough, man. Yeah, thanks, Bean. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, you'll have to send me some Quicksilver footage. Yeah, you can't rank any of them at all. Like King said, you gotta just keep it at 69, and then once you get another champ, then you can rank a champ so that you go back to 69. But yeah, thanks for the run, Bean. Appreciate it. Grab those milestone rewards. Alright, now let's go take a couple war fights real quick. Alright, what's still available? Let's check that out. In section 1, I could take 1 or 3. In section, I can take 5. I can take 7. And then in section 2, I could take 1 again, who's on a 1. Interesting. Let's go with one. Masso? Yeah. Alright. Let's go 1-1, I guess. Don't get kicked, man. Let's have some fun. Let's go. Who do I need to practice is the real question. Let's bring the new lad here. Scorpion. And who was up there on that path? Sauron, right? Let's go look one more time real quick. 20 defender kills this time. Nice. Sauron and Wong. Yeah, we'll be good. Alright, let's go. Wait, someone, dude. Oh, jeez. Okay. Dude, someone took right one. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, that's not good. Guess I can take 3. Unlucky. I'm gonna get nuked now, I think, though. Who's on 6? I guess I could take 6. Great. Okay. This is unfortunate. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, this is not good at all. Should just go Nimrod. Oh, wasn't looking. Yeah, this is gonna be terrible. I don't think I can get through this path. Yeah. Dude, Murph killed me, man. By taking my path. I think that's Murph at least, yeah. Dude. So annoying. I guess I just die here. Guess I should have double checked. It's unfortunate. Yeah, this is gonna be brutal. Yeah. Just hit monkey my way through it. Unfortunately. dude every time. Yikes. We're having fun. I think it's gonna take me like 2 more revives to get through, honestly, but that's what happens when you think you're gonna be on a different path. I wasn't supposed to be on this path, man. Leave me alone. Murph didn't even put that he was taking path 1 in the chat. Killing me. Killing me. Alright, 1 more revive. We'll get it done. Oh yeah, this is like... I just did not have anything that could take this, but I'd already moved, and... I guess I could have... What's drowning your health? It's also welcome, Adrian. It's the node. When he has armor up, he power burns you. It's just not a good matchup. There we go. Very fun, very interactive. All that loyalty, yeah, that 4 loyalty down the drain. Yeah, this is gonna be bad too. I'm gonna item out. Okay. Whatever. No, again, I just get power burned to death. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I just gotta back off, I guess. Like, this is terrible. Yeah, this is pretty brain dead. But what are you gonna do? There's another 1 loyalty. Gotta try to do as much damage as I can while he doesn't have armor ups at the start, I guess. Yeah, it's just brutal. Oh, yeah. Yikers. Alright, let's try to get him down. Music back. Oops. Hey, got him. Yeah, this war also doesn't count, so it's kind of irrelevant, but All right. I think that'll do it for me, guys. Like I said, I need to go get some work done, join AQ, take care of some other stuff, but I appreciate you guys being here for the stream. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Jason, Adrian, King, Abao, Bean, everybody that stopped by, everybody that's still here lurking or not lurking. Jay Will, good to see you, man. Take care, guys. I will catch you again very soon. I'm sure I'll be streaming at least a couple more times this week, probably tomorrow. So, catch you guys later. Take care. Stay safe. And as always, be good people. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Later. Mm-hmm.